And I spent an hour waxing my vagina, because you never know, shaving all the other body hair, getting myself ready, doing my makeup, doing my hair, and just stood me up. What is it with this generation of men?
Sorry.
For me, what happened was a few months after we were divorced, I found out that he was with a particular girl. So while I was unhealed, desperate, brokenhearted, wanting approval, wanting him to love me, all those things that you want from a husband, he was groping his next wife right in front of me.
Don't tell me you're innocent, because it insults my intelligence.
So I'm sitting there looking perplexed as hell, wondering what the hell he's talking about, because why on earth would you invite me out, but you want me to pay for my own food? So I'm perplexed.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. So glad to have you here, guys. Thank you for watching this channel. Thank you for being part of it. And also, where are my female viewers? I used to have female comments from time to time. Did you cringe of my content already, or are you still here? But now, guys, cover your kids' ears if there are any kids around, because this woman that comes from a divorce talks a little in detail about her genitalia. So let's get started and see what her problem is.
I just woke up. My hair is still done, kind of, right? Because I did my hair before I went to bed. Not on purpose, because I had planned to go on a date, and the man stood me up. And I spent an hour waxing my vagina, because you never know, shaving all the other body hair, getting myself ready, doing my makeup, doing my hair, and just stood me up.
Tragic story here, gentlemen. Don't mind that I'm almost on the brink of losing my crap laughing. A really tragic story. Now, it's always funny when women like these leave a marriage where a guy was trying his hardest to keep things together, only to then get stood up and mistreated around by men who couldn't care less about them, who can't care enough to remember their names. Always really funny. Now, we don't know the case right here. This woman could be the 1% of women who actually are widows, or, you know, that they have some serious problems in their marriages. But if she is part of the around 80% of women who initiate divorces just because they want to find something better, then in that case, karma has its own funny way of getting back at you.
What is it with this generation of men? I know there's got to be decent ones, good ones. They're just not in my dating pool.
Now, she's actually correct about this. Yes, they were in your dating pool when you were the appropriate age to date men. Now that you are in your 40s or close to 40 and you come from a divorce, your dating pool amounts to some guys using you as a recreational purpose. That's the thing. You cannot escape from it. So, guys, you know, these women, there's nothing wrong with men nowadays, which, you know, granted, they're way more simps than they were before. They're way more feminine men than they were before. Yes, you know, collectively, men are not the same as before, but individually, especially as a woman, you can always find a good guy if you happen to be decent yourself.
I don't know where to find him. I am tired. And I think I just need to take a break because who the fuck does that? Come on. We're adults.
So here's my advice, madam. Take a break for the rest of your life. Take a break from dating until the last day of your living life. That's what I will recommend, right? She's tired, guys. She's tired. Well, I guess the husband that got his kids taken away from him and half his crap, I guess he's also tired, yet he doesn't get to be the victim, you know? He is the evil one in this story that she tells. Don't feel sympathy that you're tired, honestly. You had it all there. You had your husband that you yourself picked because women are the natural selectors of our species. You could have chosen between multiple men. You decided to stick with one. Now, what happened afterwards? That's on you.
One of the things I found so fascinating after my divorce was the blind side. And what I mean by that is, in a relationship with a narcissist, there's going to come a time where you're blindsided. It's going to be all the lies that come to light, all the trust that's been broken, the love that really was never there is going to happen. So you're going to feel blindsided. For me, what happened was a few months after we were divorced, I found out that he was with a particular girl. Now, while this is going to be like, oh my gosh, I've been blindsided. No, I saw it happening in front of my face. Because when we are in a toxic...
First time? What I'm going to ask? Is the first time it happens to you? How sweet. You know, I've seen, guys, so many men be in marriages, and not only marriages, but relationships, and their wives and girlfriends, literally in less than a week, sometimes, not even kidding, guys, sometimes even 1 day or 2 days after, they're already with another person, you know, which is called monkey branching. These women just have multiple orbiters, and they use them, right? They use them for some for providing, others for fun, etc. And yeah, they just don't care about you. They don't love you. And the moment you're showing any sort of weakness, or they can just swap you for a better man, they will do. So if you want, share a comment of your own experience. I'm sure that plenty of men watching this video have experienced that. And again, I'm not trying to defend this man in the case that he was bad, and you're not just making him evil in your funny little story, because this is something women do. Like, the moment you tell me he was a narcissist, I've already lost like 99% of my credibility towards your story. But hey, if this man really was this really bad person that didn't value his marriage, still sucks, you know, sucks that happened. But we have to just accept the fact that women are the ones who do this way more often.
Relationship, oftentimes in a narcissistic relationship, we are so manipulated that we are allowing things that we wouldn't allow normally if we're healed. So while I was unhealed, desperate, brokenhearted, wanting approval, wanting him to love me, all those things that you want from a husband, he was grooming his next wife right in front of me. And so while it's such an oxymoron to me, while I felt blindsided when I found out, it was not a surprise. So I don't want to shame anyone for allowing things that you allowed in your relationship. I'm not going to shame myself for allowing things that I did when I was unhealed. But what I want to encourage you is keep doing the work to love yourself and to keep healing so that you move forward knowing that there are healthy boundaries that you can set. There are healthy boundaries to not allow things like that, to not allow... I allowed him to groom his next wife right in front of me. 2023 Laura would be like, what the ever-loving F is happening right now? That's how I would be now. 2022 Laura and before, she allowed a lot of bullshit. Live and learn, and don't do it again.
So again, guys, I'm going to speak outside of this case because I don't know enough to, you know, talk about it. But women in general, and we mentioned this in the previous video, it's funny how when they have a serious relationship, they can get tired of it and leave it in a matter of months, and being generous, maybe even weeks. Yet when they have a situationship, they can stay there for years at a time. right? We covered this on previous video, which was a woman that spent 10 years in a situationship. And they have this, you know, most women, the toxic women nowadays, which make up for the vast majority of women, they have this funny trait where when you give them, right, and you want to be with them and you want to invest in them and you want to stick together, they don't care about that. They don't value it, and they get bored and they flee from that situation. Yet, when you are withdrawn and you don't care about them and you have better options, then they chase you, right? They just chase you. They're willing to spend years. They're willing to try their hardest, do their bestest ever to be with you. So in this woman's specific scenario, it's kind of suspicious that she's willing to fight so hard. You know, she was willing to stick with that man. Please, I just want to be loved by you. Don't go with other women. It's really suspicious, given that, again, most women today, the moment you commit to them, they don't want it.
Alright guys, so you guys asked for part 2, so here you go. This is dating in Atlanta as a single mom, part 2. So I already told you guys in part 1 how Barry slid into my DMs and asked me out to dinner. So we at the dinner spot at the restaurant, and we're not even sitting down for 5 minutes, and Barry just, you know, dropped me with a bombshell talking about something. Can we go Dutch on this date? So I'm sitting there looking perplexed as hell, wondering what the hell he's talking about, because why on earth would you invite me out, but you want me to pay for my own food? So I'm perplexed now.
So I'm gonna try and make this woman to not be perplexed by explaining to her that this tradition, because it's a tradition of men paying for dates, comes from a lot of years ago, centuries ago, when men used to make that detail, because men used to be the ones that worked. Men used to be the ones who had incomes. So when they liked a woman, they will pay for the date just because they have the money that the woman, you know, in most of the cases didn't have, because she's not working. And so the man tried to, you know, court her in that way, flirt with her. But you guys, women, you fought for women to also work. Congratulations on that, by the way. Now women also get to work the 9 to 5 and pay taxes. So good job on that. This is a tradition, madam. No, this is not a rule. This is not a law that men have to pay. The reason why men do it is because they are traditional men and they want to do it or whatever. But you should take that as a gift, all right? This is not a responsibility of men. In fact, it will be more logical that you pay for your own food, because you also work in the same way that he works. You have your money in the same way that he does. So why should he pay for your food? You know, like, men do this because they are traditional and because they have morals and principles and they want to be gentlemen. But this is not you should not take this for granted. This is not a responsibility. And again, you fought for this. You fought for it to be logical that you pay your own food.
Granted, I was married for 6 years and I've only been, you know, divorced for a year. So
sorry guys, one more thing before we continue with her story. Women, if you happen to be traditional, yes, you should expect a man to pay. But that is only if you are traditional. If you are not traditional, you are automatically excluded from being provided for. So pick a lane. You either get to be traditional and you get the benefits of traditional men, but you have the responsibilities of traditional women, or you decide to be modern and independent and to do all those things that you want. You know, the high body counts, the going on dates with multiple men, being a single mother, having a divorce. You know, having a divorce and being a single mother, not necessarily traditional values and traditional ways of living, but hey.
Maybe I'm just out of touch when it comes to, you know, modern dating. So y'all let me know in the comments, like, am I doing it wrong? But whatever. I feel like, yeah, that's crazy as hell to me. But nonetheless. Saved by the Bell, because the waitress pulls up and she's like, oh, are you guys ready to order some drinks, or are you guys ready to order some food? So when she pulls up, I'm like, okay, do you happen to have any other tables available? And she looks around and she's like, nah, we don't got no tables available right now, no tables for two. And I said, nah, we only need a table for one. So she now looks at him and then she looks back at me, and I'm looking at her like, I need you to focus, sis. Like, I'm sending you an SOS. Obviously I asked for a table for one, so you already know what it is. It's not your job to be Nancy Drew or Inspector Gadget. Like, I need you to focus and get me out of here. So she is looking around and she's like, nah, I don't really see no tables available. Luckily, look at God, y'all, I peep a seat at the bar. So I'm like, can I pull up over there? She's like, cool, go ahead. So I sashay my fine ass over to the bar, and that is where I spent the rest of my night. Now, while I'm there, the bartender sees me leave the table and just go over there. I ain't look back, I ain't say nothing, I ain't say nice meeting you, none of that, because why the hell you wasting my time?
So the TikTok ends right here, guys. And what can I say? Again, I don't know this woman's case. Maybe she's the 1% who are widows, or there is something reasonable as to why they're divorced. Or again, maybe she's just part of the many, many women who get a divorce because they want to have their cake and eat it too, because they want to upgrade their husbands, because they don't value them, nor the time and effort they put into marriages. So I'm gonna speak outside of her case, don't really care about this woman's scenario. But in general, guys, you should not be traditional men with women who are not traditional. And it just so happens that like 90%, depending on your country, of course, of women are just not traditional. So you're not expected to pay for the date. You're not expected to court them. You're not expected to have these long ass conversations with them. Madam, you get what you reap what you sow, right? So if you have a high body count, you're no longer entitled to the benefits of traditional living, right? And guys, you should not be treating these women in a traditional way if they don't, you know, present themselves as traditional women. You can have the best from both worlds, ladies. So again, guys, if you ask me, just don't deal with women who are not traditional in the first place. It's a waste of time, waste of money, waste of your sanity, which is one of the most important resources. But hey, guys, leave me your comments down below. Do you deal with women who are not traditional? Maybe some of you for recreational purposes, or tell me a little about it, guys. Do you think it's worth it? But now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.